Hey, it's your boy Kai, and welcome to Kai Watches Gilmore Girls, the show where I sit and I watch Gilmore Girls for the very first time. We are up to season 5, episode 2. Yesterday, I just watched episode 1. Today, I am on episode 2 of season 5. I'm super excited. My friends, let's get down to business. Yes, I may or may not have just busted out some Mulan. I don't care. I did it anyway. Season 5, episode 2, a messenger, nothing less, nothing more. My friends, if you are enjoying what you're watching today, please be sure to follow me on your favorite social media channels, especially YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll be the first to see anything that I post here on YouTube. You'll be the first to see it before I even post it on Instagram or on TikTok. Follow me on your favorite social media channels. I said that already, but I'm saying it again because I want you to follow me. Here, I'm going to skip to that slide right now. Follow me on your favorite social media channels at The Vibe with Kai, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. Follow me there. You won't regret it. And if you want your Gilmore Girls merchandise, go ahead and visit thevibewithkai.com. Get your bags, your shirts, your sweaters, whatever it is that you wear, you can get it at thevibewithkai.com. We have everything with some of your favorite catchphrases from the Gilmore Girls. You're not going to regret that. My friends, let's get right down to it. Season 5, episode 2, A Messenger, nothing more. We start off the episode. We find out that Emily. I'm sorry. Well, not Emily. Lorelei. Lorelei has not talked to Rory in quite some time. Rory is currently out with Emily, doing a little European excursion. They're over in Europe doing that, and I'm going to assume this is how they've been keeping in touch because Rory has been writing postcards to Luke, and those postcards have been posted up here on the little board. And what's funny, I'm looking at some of these places. I wonder if all of these places listed shown on here are actually in Europe. I know I see a lot of European places, but now I'm curious. Now I feel like I should do a deep dive on that just on my own time, but probably not because I don't have time for that. Luke at the Renaissance Fair is probably one of the funniest things that I think I will ever see him be at, mainly because he has ingrained himself in this culture, and I'm a big fan of that fact. The fact that he has ingrained himself in this culture, and he knows all the little tidbits of the town about what's going down in the town, and I enjoy the fact that he's actually found his way into that world. I think it's hilarious, and then I've always had a crush on Luke's sister. I've always had a little crush on her, that actress at least, and that character. If I could find somebody like her, that she would be my number two behind Lorelai. If I can't find a Lorelai, I want to find a Luke sister. I can do without the DJ, but I can find a Luke sister. Emily is totally in Emily mode while she's over in Europe, and her and Rory are treating this poor man. Uh, I mean, maybe that's what rich people do. I don't know. I'm not rich, but is this what rich people do? If there's any rich people that are watching this, or if you know of any rich people, is this the way that Emily is in this scene? Is this how rich people are? In regards to like just bossing people around like that and just being so particular about everything. Is that how they are? I don't know. I don't know that many rich people. I mean, the one or two that I do, I can totally see them doing this and behaving this way. But I'm curious if it's the same situation for all of you. And shout out to Rory as well. Shout out to Rory because Rory wants to wants to wait until Emily goes to take her nap. That way, she can go explore the areas that she actually wants to go explore, such as the catacombs. So that was funny. I feel for Michelle here. I said this in episode 1. Michelle in this inn, in the Dragonfly Inn, is what every customer service representative has always wanted to do and be and say in that kind of situation. The way that he behaves with these children. One of my favorite parts of this episode is the little kids come and they're like, they said something along the lines of, he told us to go do something with ourselves, and he used a foul word like that is Michelle, and that is what like representative of things that I would want to say to people, but I can't because I don't want to get fired. He obviously has no qualms about potentially getting fired. He is hiding in the back, and he does not give two craps about it. He's like, I'm on my 10 right now. I'm taking my break. I don't care what any of you have to say. Damn it. Um, so this scene was awkward, right? Wasn't this a little awkward? Because obviously Rory and Lorelai have been avoiding each other. Emily has finally got them to talk to each other. I don't think Emily fully understands what exactly is going on here, but Emily calls Lorelai and is like, "Hey, do you want to talk to Rory?" And she's like, "I guess." And she's like, "Rory, come talk to your mom." And Rory's like, "Okay." And they go on and have this really awkward conversation that I don't like. I don't like it when Rory and Lorelai argue and fight with each other. And this poor woman, the poor woman here that I'm highlighting with my mouse right here, she's just a part of this whole situation. Props to that actress for acting her butt off. I wonder if this was like the biggest moment she's ever had on TV. I could potentially be wrong. She could probably be one of the biggest actresses in the world right now, and I don't know. I'm showcasing my ignorance here. But if this is her big moment in her career, shout out to her, ma'am. If you are watching this right now and this is you in this scene with Lorelai, message me because I would love to interview you and talk to you about your experience on the Gilmore Girls set. Um, what's funny is that in this entire episode, Emily was bragging all about how the men of Europe were just like all about Emily. And yeah, how could you say no to that? Look at that hair. Look at that hair, right? Obviously, this wasn't filmed in actual Europe, right? Because I think some of the stuff in here is a little too cliche Europe. Like they're like, okay, we're in LA right now. We can't go film it in Europe. Let's add as many cliche European adages as possible, including my man over here smoking a cigarette. I don't know why I'm speaking French because they're not in France at this moment, but he is as European as it comes, and he is living his best life. And they got the mopeds. And the one thing I wanted to see, I can't see it in the cars in the screenshot. I wonder if they went into enough detail that the wheel of the car is on the right hand side. I'm curious if they went into that detail, but I'm too lazy to go find out. So I'm not gonna look. All right, so I are they trying to make this a thing? Like Lane and this guy in the middle, is that what they're trying to do? I started to get that sense. So this guy started bringing in like all these chicks right into the diner, and it was at that point that I was like, I think they're gonna try to make Lane and this guy a thing. I should probably learn his name because right now I don't know this guy's name. I should probably learn his name because um, I think they're gonna try to make Lane and him a thing. That's my prediction. That's my guess because good lord, they are shoving it in our face right now. And if they do end up together, it'll probably be the most predictable writing thing that they've ever done in their life. Um, I'm sharing this scene because for two reasons. Number one, I haven't played Chinese checkers in quite some time, and watching this, I'm like, I want to play Chinese checkers. I haven't played it in a long time, and I don't have to. I have to reteach myself how to play it. But if I do reteach myself how to play it, I'm also going to have to find somebody else that knows how to play it. And I don't know that many people that know how to play it, so I need to find that. The second reason that I'm sharing this is I want to give a shout out once again to Lorelai's outfit here. I'm a fan of this outfit. Shout out to Valerie Campbell and the team over in the costume department for Gilmore Girls. This is I love this outfit. And for those of you that don't know already, once again, if on my YouTube channel here, I did an interview with Valerie Campbell, who is the key set costumer for Gilmore Girls. She worked on the production from season one all the way up through the revival. And now I'm just starting to notice, after speaking with her, I'm starting to notice all of these little things about costumes, especially Lorelai's costume. She told me some really cool stories about Lorelai, about Lauren Graham and her costumes and how that came to be. So after you go watch this, if you have some time to spare, you can go check out that video on my YouTube channel, my interview with Valerie Campbell, or if you prefer to listen to it via podcast, it is also available via podcast. You can go check it out. Finally, they say sorry to each other. She's like, Rory's like, "Mom, I'm sorry," and Laura's like, miss you. And they have this nice little moment. I couldn't, I feel like people would get mad at me if I did not share this moment that they had with each other when they started reminiscing about their trip to Europe, backpacking across Europe. And then, but the thing that we also have to point out in this scene is that Rory says, "Hey, mom, listen, I wrote Dean a letter, and I need you to give Dean this letter because I can't just mail it to his house. Because if I mail it to his house, Lindsay might see it." Well, we know how that works out. Oh, look at this. I forgot to take out this slide. This is a slide from season one. I'm sorry, from episode one of season five. But I think I kept it in here just for the fact that I just adore these two. I adore these two. I ship these two so much. And that's why I put it in here. I know why now. Because I wanted to just like they haven't seen each other in a while. I wanted to keep this in here because they haven't seen each other in a while. This is from episode one. This is from episode two. And like they are just so comfortable with each other and they're just so in love. And I shipped that. I haven't had like a good phone conversation with somebody that I like really like in quite some time. I miss that. Like this love that they have, this infatuation that they have with each other. I love it. Look at Dean. Dean finally got a haircut. It's about freaking time. I guess he had to make sure his hair was cut so he can go fight some demons soon. But he finally got his hair cut. It's looking good. I like his hair this way as opposed to whatever the Justin Bieber he had before. I like his hair this way over what he had before. I like it a lot more. Shout out to Dean, simping hard over Rory, even though he's a married man. But at least he got a haircut. So I'm happy about that. Shout out to Caesar, who got a bunch of lines in this episode. Shout out to Caesar, who was trying to create a new salad and call it Caesar's salad. To which Lane is like, well, there's already a Caesar salad. And Caesar was like, no, 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 no. Mine has an apostrophe S on it. So it's Caesar's salad. So it's my salad. And Lane was like, no, no, boo. Boo. No, that that ain't gonna work. This is a good time to remind you to follow me, to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're enjoying what you're listening to so far, you'll be the first to see my episode breakdowns to get notified whenever I post something like this. Hit that subscribe button down below. You won't regret it, or you might. Hopefully you won't. I think they're really trying to make this guy a thing. And I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. I think they are trying to make this guy a thing. First and foremost, I miss Dave. I know he's out in California. Here we come. I know he's out there right now, but I miss Dave. This guy isn't Dave. Maybe he'll grow on me, but right now he has some big shoes to fill. I don't know if he can do it. But we'll see. This is when it was confirmed for me. When this chick was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know," and Lane was like, "You didn't know what?" And then we're like, "Oh yeah, they are trying to make this guy a thing. I should probably learn his name. I'm gonna look it up as soon as this episode, as soon as I finish recording this. What's really funny is that tonight I'm actually going to be doing. I'm going to be watching season 2, episode 10 with John Cabrera tonight. We're going to be we're going to be watching that episode together tonight, and he's the guy that is not the guy. He's the guy that's not this guy. He's the guy here. I'm gonna take you back here. He's where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There he is. This guy. Him. I'm hanging out with him tonight. I'm with him tonight. Where are you? Come back. Loading. This is a what do you have to load? See, this is why there we go. Okay. This is why you don't exit out of a presentation. You just keep it going. But I have to go back and show you this. This guy right here, John Cabrera. I'm hanging out with him today. We're watching the Brainbridge dinner thing tonight. We're watching that episode together, me and him. A couple other folks. We're going to be watching it tonight. I'm super excited for that. All right, let's work our way back to where we were. Now look at those lovebirds. Dean and his haircut. Caesar's salad. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. They're making this guy a thing. They confirmed it. The fight. Oh no. Lindsay found the letter that Rory wrote to Dean. Oh, who would have thought? Who would have thunk that would have happened? I did. As soon as Rory said, Mom, I wrote Dean a letter. I need you to give it to him. Who would have thought that Lindsay would have found the letter? I definitely did. And she went crazy, throwing his stuff out of the window. And look at him sitting there with his haircut looking all dumb. And she's like, Get out! I don't like you. You had biblical relations with Rory. And she said it was great. Now, here's the thing. In the letter, Rory did say, Hey, listen, you're married. I like you. I don't regret anything that happened. However, you're a married man and you got to get your shit together if we're going to continue. Right? That's what she wrote in the letter. Props to Rory for saying that. Number one. Number two, I mean, come on, Rory. You're a grown woman. You shouldn't have put yourself in that situation to begin with. Number three, Dean, you're a married man. You shouldn't have put yourself in that position at all. Lindsay, I mean, I get her anger. I get it. Her husband cheated on her. I mean, how would you expect her to react? Like, would you expect her to be like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, I guess that means we're done." No, she was in love with this guy. She was trying to save the marriage. She was blaming herself. The amount of mental stress that this woman probably put herself through for Dean because she thought that she was the reason that the marriage was going wrong. But come to find out, Dean couldn't keep it in his pants. And then Mom shows up. Mom shows up. Karen shows up. I don't know if her name is Karen, but that's her name now. Lindsay's mom is Karen. Look at this face. Can I speak to your man? Can I speak to your manager, please? That's the face. That's the face that we're getting in this scene right here. And she yells at Lorelei and Rory, and Lorelei is like, "Hey, you need to back up. I will murder you. I will destroy your life if you don't back up." And this woman's like, "I need to speak to your manager right now. Right now. Do you have a permit for that lemonade stand? I'm calling the cops." And then once again, it's confirmed they're going to make Lane and this guy a thing. They're gonna make Lean and this guy a thing. I was not expecting that. This show has been a little predictable at times. I was not predicting this. I thought that Liam was gonna find somebody else. I didn't think it was gonna be this guy, but apparently it's this guy. Luke got her a necklace that matches the earrings that he gave her. I ship this. I ship it, ship it, ship it, and I love it. Look at Lorelai. She's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you." I'm so happy for these two, but they need to just come out with it. They can't be hiding forever. They're really bad at hiding things, by the way. They're trying to be all like hidden and stuff. Meanwhile, they're in the middle of Times Square, the town square, not Times Square, the town square. They're in the middle of the town square, exchanging some lovey-doveys. Good for them, though. Speaking of exchanging lovey-doveys, or the complete opposite, I should say. Rory shows up to Dean's house and is like, "Hey, can we talk?" And he's like, sure." And then he goes, he goes and he blames her. He he blames her. He's like, "I risked it all for somebody that ran away with her grandmother for the summer." Dean, Dean. Okay, listen, I'm gonna say this. In fact, I want you to see my face as I talk about this, right? Because I think it's time that we talk about, because I get this a lot on TikTok. They're like, "Kai, I can see that you're no longer Team Dean. Now you can see why we all hate Dean." Let me reiterate something, right? I never, ever, ever thought that Dean should be with Rory at all. I can say that I am no longer Team Dean, right? I don't hate him. I don't. He cheated on his wife. That's horrible. He is blaming Rory. That's horrible. Um, but I can't hate him because I said this before. I don't hate people. Hate is a very, very strong word, especially when it comes to fictional characters, right? I don't hate Dean. I think that he made a really bad group of choices in season 5, at the end of season 4 into season 5. Me personally, I don't think he is toxic. I personally think that word is overused, right? However, if you're watching this right now and you're saying to yourself, I think that Dean is toxic because of whatever reason that you give for thinking that he is toxic, that is okay. And I will not refute that because your opinion is 100% your opinion, and I'm like, there's no right or wrong answer here. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've run into, is that there's a lot of people that think that there's a right or wrong answer to Team Dean or Team Jess or Team Logan, right? But I don't think there is. I think it's just all a matter of perspective. And I think it's not fair for me to say to you that your opinion is wrong. If there's somebody else that has an opposing opinion, I don't think it's fair for anybody to say that their opinion is wrong. It is a fictional television show where people are purposely written to do things that raise the level of drama, because that's how we as the viewers are entertained. So at the end of the day, that's how I always view it. I'm dropping some Meisner on you here for all you acting majors out there, behaving truthfully under imaginary circumstances. Now, with that being said, I totally get why people feel that Dean is toxic. I get it. I get it 100%, right? Because there are things that Dean has done throughout the series that people find triggering based on the things that they went through or they experienced or they saw perhaps in their real life. So that's why I'll never say to somebody, hey, listen, your thought process on this is just wrong, right? I would never say that to somebody. And I would hope that they would never say that to me. Once again, let me reiterate, I get it. If you think Dean is a terrible, terrible person, I can't fight you on that. He did some bad shit, right? So did Jess. So did Rory. So did Max. So did Lorelei. So did Luke. So did Kirk. So did Taylor. I think every person in this series has done something that is a little suspect, right? But with that being said, I think it's just something that adds depth to their character, their fictional character. It adds depth. It adds this new level that we kind of take in sometimes. Now, we sometimes will excuse the behavior of some of our favorite characters because we are rooting for certain people. We are rooting for Rory to find love. Why? Because she is the title character of the show. We are rooting for Lorelei to find love. Why? Because she is the title character of the show. The show is told from the perspective of Rory and Lorelei. It is from their perspective. They are the main characters. They are who we root for. So it doesn't, like, the roles could have been completely reversed, right? Rory could have done something that is very reminiscent of something that Dean has done, like cheat, right? But we let it slide. Why? Because we're rooting for her. We want her. A lot of people want her to be with Logan. A lot of people want her to be with Jess, you know? But I don't think it's fair for anybody to say to somebody, hey, you shouldn't feel a certain way about a fictional TV character. The example I give all of the time is I like Cersei Lannister, right? She is from Game of Thrones. She is my favorite, like, Game of Thrones character out of all of them. She was my absolute favorite. I loved her. She is my queen. I will bow down to her whenever she asks. I love that character. But just because I love her doesn't mean that I condone actual murder. It doesn't mean that I condone the things that she did, the bad behavior that she did, right? When it comes to storytelling, we pick our heroes. That's why anti-heroes are a big thing nowadays. Look at all of the anti-heroes out there in the world. There are tons of anti-heroes and we root for them, even though they do some really bad things. We let it slide because we are viewing things from their perspective. And anybody that comes in the way of like destroying that perspective, we're like, no, they gotta go. They're terrible, right? Which is okay. That's the thing about TV and movies and books, right? Music. We are supposed to have these conversations. If everybody agreed with everything, this would be the most boring show in the world. There's a reason that when this show was airing live, there's a reason that like if Twitter were big back then, it would be Team Dean and Team Jess and Team Logan, even more so than it is now. Right? We get it when people watch Grey's Anatomy. There was some people that Dr. Grey was, like you had Team McDreamy and Team whomever, right? Right? It would have been the same exact thing. We pick and choose who we want because that's the story. The writers and producers and the actors of this show, they do that purposefully to spur the conversation. So at no point should we ever say to somebody, your opinion on a fictional character is wrong. At no point can we or should we ever say that. I would never say that to you. I would never say that to somebody walking down the street, even if I personally disagree with what they're saying from the very bottom fiber of my body. This is a fictional TV show where these characters are purposely written to raise drama and to ask questions and to start conversations. And that's what's happening here. So I hope that people understand that, like, even though I don't think that Dean is a toxic person, doesn't mean that I excuse his behavior, doesn't mean that I excuse his actions, that I say that it's okay for it to happen. No, he did some terrible stuff. But so did a lot of other characters in the show. Dean's done a lot of great stuff. So have a lot of other characters in this show. It's all about perspective. The perspective of a 15-year-old watching the show growing up is going to be different than a 45-year-old who has never seen the show before. It's going to be different than a 33-year-old who's never seen the show before. That's going to be different than a 27-year-old who's watched it a couple times. It's going to be different from a person that grew up in the inner city in a black neighborhood than a person who grew up in a rural area of Nebraska. There's so many different perspectives here. And I think that we need to do better at respecting other people's perspectives without, beating them up. Because I can't tell you the amount of times that I get messages from people on Instagram, on TikTok saying, Kai, listen, I want to say that I'm Team Dean. I want to say I like the character of Dean, even though he did some really suspect stuff. I never come out and say it because I get crucified because of it, which is true. I see it all the time. I'll say, I'm like, oh, I like Dean, and people will be like, you suck, right? And that's okay. If you don't like Dean, that's perfectly fine. I just hope that you don't allow the the actions of a fictional character to define the person that's watching the show as somebody that is just a pure viewer being entertained. That's all I gotta say about that. Did I get it off my chest? I think I got it off my chest. The episode ends with Lorelei and Rory sitting on the couch. I think they said they're gonna watch Showgirls. I'm gonna assume it's the Elizabeth Berkley Showgirls, the extended edition, which has a lot of boobies in it. A lot of boobies, a little bit of booty, and a little bit of taku in it. So I guess that's a thing that they watch together. So I mean, good for them. I mean, listen, I have seen that movie, and I never thought that it would be a mother-daughter flick. That's if they're talking about that movie that I'm thinking of, but it is what it is. So what did I think of the episode? That's the ultimate question. What did I think of the episode? Well, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Not much really happened. Like, I mean, stuff happened, sure. Like, some very important things that went down. But overall, it was just like an okay episode. There was nothing that really wowed me. Nothing really that, like, took me out of my seat. It wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't a great episode. I thought it was just okay. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me. With that said, my friends, if you enjoyed this recap of this episode, please be sure to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and you'll be the first to know anytime that I go, when I go and post something about this. I post it here before I post it anywhere else, before I post it on TikTok, before I post it on Instagram. It's always posted here first. And of course, you can follow me on your favorite social media channels. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at The Vibe with Kai, where I'm always posting things that'll help you do good, be good, feel good, and live a good life full of good vibes. My friends, thank you so much for watching. I adore you. I appreciate your support. As always, God bless and good vibes.